does talk to other deer by bleating, and when they are in estrus, the tone of their bleat changes a little. This call lets a buck know that a doe is in heat and ready to mate. When they make this sound, most bucks who aren't already with a doe will be very interested. Doe bleat calls are great for attracting all kinds of bucks and even other does. When the days get shorter in the fall, a change in the photoperiod makes whitetail bucks start what we call the rut. It makes their hormones change, which causes them to first lose their velvet, then fight and rub against trees, and finally breed. Bucks may be most receptive to deer calls in the weeks before the peak of the rut. They are on their feet all night and even during the day looking for does and challenging other bucks to fights over territory. When they are full of testosterone, they are often quick to answer a challenge call or a call from a lonely doe. There are a lot of different sounds that a white-tailed deer can make. As a hunter, calling in a deer is one of the most exciting things you can do. It means you are in the right place and can talk directly with whitetail. So, how many calls do deer make when they are mating? Fawns bleat when they are in danger, can't find their mother, are hungry, or just want to be comforted by her. As they get older, they will still call in that way, but not as often or with as high a pitch. It sounds like a baby cow and is a long bawling sound. Even if they didn't have a fawn that year, doe will be drawn to a high-pitched fawn's bleat because it's in their nature to do so. Sometimes, it can even attract bucks out of curiosity. Bucks use grunts to show a few different emotions, but most of them are calls to other bucks to challenge them or calls to does to get them to breed. For example, they use a long, low grunt to tell other bucks that they are stronger and will fight if they don't get their way. A buck will make a series of short, staccato grunts while chasing a doe that is in heat. Bucks use grunts to show they want to fight up to a general contact call, but a snort wheeze can only mean one thing: let's get ready to fight. A buck makes a snort wheeze when he quickly blows air out of his nose, similar to an alarm blow, but more drawn out. It's a call that usually only older bucks make, and it's one of the most aggressive deer calls. Usually, the snort wheeze is the last warning before things get really bad, which is where the rattle comes in. During the early season, bucks spar lightly to figure out their place in the social order without risking serious injuries. But once the rut comes, there isn't much left to fight about. If some posturing and giving the other buck a serious look doesn't scare him away, it's time for a real fight. Most of the time, these run-ins are light fights where the bucks bump heads and spar lightly. As the peak of the rut approaches, bucks fight harder and more aggressively for the right to mate with does.